Good morning. Welcome to our daily dose for today, Monday, July 6th. I've had a prayer burden come up every week at our staff meeting, and my prayer request has been mental health. Mental health. We need to be praying for people's mental health. I can tell from interactions with people and from a lot of interactions with people online that people are struggling. Research has come out that says Americans are having a hard time sleeping over these last few months. Now, I think another complaint or diatribe about the media is probably a counterproductive activity. It won't help. But I just want to remind us that the media is a for-profit business. In order to engage us, activate us, and thereby profit from us, they have to create fear and they have to create worry because we keep clicking on it when we're afraid. As fear and worry increase, so do their ratings and their profits. And I think it'd be naive of us to think that it's not both sides of the political divide and news sources that are profiting off of the news. I'm worried about our mental health. Paul tells us not to conform to the patterns of this world, which is fear, worry, and anger. Instead, he tells us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. If we're exposing ourselves to nonstop fear news, and if we're constantly engaging in snarky, angry social media, I think we're degrading our minds. You can't put garbage in your mind and expect your mind to experience renewal. It can't happen. For our daily dose today, I want to share the words of Jesus found in Matthew 6, starting in verse 25. He says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or stow away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" Jesus says, don't worry about your life. And he points to the birds. He says, look at the birds. They don't worry at all. They know God will take care of them. And he reminds us, you're worth way more than birds to God. And then Jesus asks us a really good question. He says, do any of you have the magic ability to convert worry into a longer, healthier life? Of course not. It's the ultimate waste of our most precious resource, our time. So here is the core of the issue. The more we worry, the smaller we make God in our lives. But the bigger we make God, the smaller we make our worries. We serve a big, powerful, amazing God who's pure love. Put your eyes on him and then watch your stress drain away. So I've got a prescription for us as we start a new week. Do you want to have a good July? You want to have a good second half of this year? Try these three things. Number one, look at the birds. When you're outside and you hear a bird or you see a bird fly by, stop in your tracks and remind yourself that God takes care of them. He'll take care of you. Number two, part of this prescription, disconnect from media. Put some boundaries up. I say adopt a 5-minute-a-day rule where you give yourself no more than 5 minutes to engage in the news and the headlines. We don't want to be uninformed. So I say go ahead, read some headlines, pray about them, and then be done with it for the day. If you're really worried, you can come back at the end of the day, look at a few headlines, pray about them, and go to sleep. God is on his throne. We don't need more than 5 minutes a day on the news. God's going to take care of all of this. Now, the third part of this prescription is consider going off social media, just going off of it completely, because it is turning into a really ugly, toxic place. Good people, good Christian people who have manners, who love their neighbors normally are tempted to say things and post things that they would never say to a real person. They would never do that in real life. They were raised better than that. They would pick on people who would do something like that. And yet, when we get on social media, we'll take out a whole generation. We'll take out a whole group of the population. We'll try to take on millions of people with one fell post. I don't know anyone right now who can spend 15 minutes on social media and come out of it with a renewed mind. I don't see that as possible. We got to make it a little bit harder for the devil to steal our peace, to steal our joy, and to steal our witness. We got to put up a little bit more of a fight. With a couple of clicks, swipes, or likes, we just hand over our glory. We just hand over our light as sons and daughters of a loving Heavenly Father who's in control of everything. So, look at the birds. Disconnect from toxic media, or I should say disconnect from toxic media. Get your peace, love, gentleness, witness, and glory back. We don't need to be victims of our circumstances anymore. Let's have a great week journey.